right. How's it going, everybody? Everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody, to our GPTuesdays and SWARMS very first workshop collaboration. We're excited. Yeah, thank you very much. We're excited to bring this to the Miami population, where our goal is to help train and educate the people in Miami so that all of us can stay ahead of the AI wave of change. This is for engineers, researchers, entrepreneurs, and people that generally just want to learn more about AI. So this is going to be one of many workshops. We're going to provide prompt engineering workshops. We're going to be presenting many times. But we're extremely excited about this one with Kai Gomez and SWARMS. So I want to share what everyone might expect, and let's get started.
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Kai. Today we're going to be building some swarms of agents. Now, before we begin, I want you to think about a problem that you really want to solve. It could be within your business, it could be within your own personal life. It could be any problem. Just, I want you to really understand what problem you want to solve. And by the end of this workshop, I want to have successfully solved that problem for you. That's our goal here tonight. And yeah, so we're going to be building swarms of agents for operation automation. We're essentially going to be showing you how to automate things with agents and multiple agents. I don't have any examples prepared for this. I'm just going to, like I said, I want to solve your problems. And we're going to be essentially, this is going to be more interactive. This isn't going to be like, it's like a presentation or something. It's going to be, you have a problem, you tell me what problem you want to solve. I will solve this problem for you, and you'll see how I do it, and you'll see how it's done that way and why it's done that way, and if it's effective. So before we get started, a little bit about me. I'm the founder of SWARMS. We started building SWARMS almost 2.5 years ago now to make it very easy for you to build swarms of agents that could work together and do many things all at one time. Before that, when GPT-3 came out, the original GPT-3, not 4, or ChatGPT, there was only one of them. You could only really use one GPT-3 at a time. And that wasn't really effective at all. There was a lot of problems with that. The same problems that I mentioned on Tuesday's event with Grant and GPTuesdays, which are hallucination, context window limits, one thing at a time, and just not very accurate answers. So I started building swarms with that intention. And before that, I started Agora. Agora is a research lab on Discord. We now have more than 8,200 AR researchers, and we do mostly AR research pertaining to foundation models, training new foundation models, and agentic research like SWARMS. And SWARMS was born in Agora amongst a couple thousand other projects. And I've been an AI engineer now for nearly 10 years, if not more, since I was around 11 years old. I built a lot of AI models in my short little life, and I don't really do anything else other than come to GPTuesdays.
Right on.
And maybe play some basketball. Yeah. Playing basketball is pretty fun, so I do that. So those are some of my X and LinkedIn. Now, this is the 2 QR codes to get you started. We're going to be using the GitHub and the documentation. So this is the SWARMS GitHub, and then this is the SWARMS official documentation. So, yeah. And so for support, everybody please join the Discord, the SWARMS Discord, and I want you to text what problem you want to solve in the general channel. You can tag me or I want you to put the problem that you're thinking about solving in there. And all the examples are going to be in our cookbook. which is on this QR code. And so on this QR code, we're going to have all the examples that we're going to be running step by step. So,
Could you go back to the first QR code?
oh yeah.
What about Wi-Fi password?
Oh,
I dropped that into the Telegram channel for GPTuesdays.
I also sent it in Luma, so it should have sent you a text message or an email, maybe.
And I'll drop it in the Discord as well.
The name of it is Residents, Society of Residents. I didn't specify that the first time.
Oh, I think the password I gave was for the guests.
Oh, for guests?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm on Residents.
I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
for residents.
Oh, okay. I don't mean,
Maybe for
so
both.
that's fine. Okay, cool.
All right, if everybody's in the Discord, now we can begin to proceed. So I'm gonna open up Google Colab tonight, which is basically like you don't need an IDE to program in. You just go to this URL, and then you just build a new notebook. I'm gonna place this here. So within this notebook, you can essentially define the code that you want to write. So I'm just going to name this example number 1. And you can get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install Swarms. So to install Swarms, it's pretty simple. You just zoom in here. Just type in pip3/swarms. And that's it, you have Swarms. And then for Google Colab, it's the same exact thing, but you just add an exclamation mark. So you do pip install Swarms. So then it'll start downloading. So pip, just to summarize, pip is Python's package manager. It's essentially what allows you to download external packages onto your computer from other developers. And yeah, basically you just type this in, pip install Swarms. You type this in your own terminal, or if you're a beginning programmer, Google Colab is pretty simple. So it's just going to be downloading some things, and then next we can actually get started in writing some code. So first, before I starting writing some agents, I want to essentially show you the structure of the framework. So the structure of the framework is 3 things. We have essentially like 3 levels of hierarchy. We have models, which are base models like GPT-4, Anthropic, Gemini, like super base models. And then after that, we have agents. Agents are models that have a looping structure. There's a loop to them. They'll say something. They'll take that in, do something again in a loop. Then they also have tools, function calling, and then there's also a RAG. So what people normally define as RAG will also be defined in the agent. And that's a database that's connected to a model that you can then use. So 3 most important sections is models, agents, and then swarms. Swarms are any more, if you have more than 2 agents at a time, that's swarm. And that's what we'll essentially go through this entire hierarchies level by level. So the full structure of the entire framework looks like this. We have agents, artifacts, which are saving things that the agents build. we have a command line, we have a memory system, we have models, GPT-4, Anthropic, Llama, Ollama, any of those like individual base LLMs. And then we have prompts, we have some pre-built prompts that make it very easy. And then we have schemas for function calling, which is how agents use tools. And then we have structs, which hold the vast majority of important things. And then after that, we have telemetry, which helps us capture data and organize the data so we can analyze it. We have tools, we have utilities, and that's pretty much the whole framework. So like I said, the architecture is kind of simple. We have models first, then models are plugged into agents, and then we have multi-agent, which is kind of like the highest level of abstraction in AI in general, because multi-agent involves multiple models. And so this is kind of like the end of the road, really. Like there's nothing after multi-agent collaboration, because these are like the foundation models, like GPT-4, Anthropic, Gemini, like all the models that you've probably seen. Then those are the agents that we're trying to execute activities in the real world. And then finally you have multi-agent, which is anytime you have more than 2 agents working together. And this is essentially like how we try to simplify the framework. So these are really just one model, one agent, and then here is like, if you have more than 2 at a time. So I'm going to show you now how to use models in Swarms. It's super simple, less than 5 lines of code. So that's what the code looks like, but I'm going to be typing it out so you can see as well.
Are these code snippets available?
Yeah. In the example section. Well, I'm going to be typing them out now so everybody can see. So to use Swarms, you say from Swarms, then you import what you want. Here we're saying we want to import OpenAI. We're also going to import another package for utilities. Then we're going to import another package so we can load our secrets. Then we're going to load the secret file, the EMB. So an EMB is very important because without EMBs, your keys would be exposed and someone would take all your information and keys. And that's not
Ideal.
very fun.
Not
So
ideal.
you got to keep those secure. It's very interesting because sometimes you don't need to import this package, .env, but for sometimes if you kind of need to, it just simply won't work. So then you could fetch your key. I already put my key in there, and I'll show you how to do that. So here we're going to say we need to fetch the secret key, OpenAI key. And then it's essentially just a file that you make. You just make a file, .env.
In the root directory.
Yeah, in the root directory, you create a file, .env, and then you put your key, just like this. And then you put your key. And that's essentially like how you would do it inside of the .env file. But I'm not going to go in there because then you see my keys. Which, I preferably want to keep my keys. And then so first we fetch the keys. To run a model, you need an API key, which is how they build you. And then we can start building the model. So we're going to say the model equals OpenAI chat, and then we're going to say model name. We're going to say GPT-4o mini. And then we're going to say, we're going to give it the key. So this is going to be open AI underscore key equals API key. And then we can also give it max tokens. The max tokens will basically say this is the number of tokens it can make. And so we can also give it a temperature. A temperature is how creative the model is going to be. So we could give it a relatively high score of 0.7. pretty much it. Now to actually run this, we just say Alex equals models, and then that's basically it. You would just put it here. Out equals models, and then the task that you want. So you're going to say, how can I establish a Roth IRA to buy stocks and get a tax break? What are the criteria? So we're going to print that, and this is a full script in 18 lines of code. You can essentially run GPT-4o mini. And then after this, once we get this single model down, then we're going to go into the agent, and we're going to build an agent. Yep.
For temperature, what is the scale based on?
0.0 to 1.0.
So 1.0 is the most like conservative?
No, it's the most great.
Creative?
Wait, 0.0 is the most, it's the most like what it sees, basically.
Yeah.
1.0 would just be like really crazy.
We tried it one time and it started speaking Russian, Chinese, English.
Yeah, if you put the temperature high enough, it'll like every single other letter will be a different language.
Crash that.
It might make sense, like it might form like some complete sentences, but for the most part, it's going to be many different languages. And it's just like it's not gonna.
It
It's not
starts
gonna
good
make
and
sense.
then it starts tripping a bit.
It falls apart.
Actually, I want to look that up now because we usually do.
I don't think it's one, I think it's higher, yeah. I think it's good.
Yeah. So.
Maybe even higher. It depends I think on the model as well.
Yeah. So it could be anywhere from 0 and 2. The temperature is used to control the randomness of the output. So when you set it higher, you get more random outputs. When you set it lower, towards 0, the values are more deterministic. In this case, we could put any storytelling, creative storytelling, or like any creative task, you probably want to set up the temperature as much as possible. And then for the more like analytical, business applications, you probably just want to have it as close to 0 as possible. So yeah, we're gonna see if this works. There might be some errors, but that's good because we need to solve them. And yeah, let's see what happens. So this is we just got an error about the workspace directory. So we need to save all of our files and everything to a single folder, which we're gonna say is agent workspace. So this is how we do something to the .env. You can also add your API key in the terminal, but I'm just gonna put it here so it's easy. So now that we have that, we should be able to run this. We should see the model generating the tokens. So there you go. The model is generating the tokens and gave us a response. It says, establishing a Roth IRA to invest in stocks can be a great way to save for retirement while enjoying tax benefits. Steps to establish a Roth IRA. Check income limits. So for 2023, you can contribute to a Roth IRA if your modified adjusted gross income is below $138,000 for single filers and $218,000 for married couples, which is correct. This is correct. The reason why I'm using Roth IRA as an example is because, for those who don't know, if you invest in a Roth IRA, you don't need to pay taxes on your capital gains. So, especially, if you're after the age of 59, then you don't pay taxes. And it needs to be open for 5 years. But basically, this is saying that you can invest in stocks without paying any taxes if you are after the age of 59 and you have an account for 5 years, which is pretty fun. So that's how the model works. Like I said, in 18 lines of code, we got that working. And so that's the first step. That's like the most simplest abstraction that we can use for agents. So that's just using the base model APIs. GPT-4 Mini is a new model that came out recently that's very cheap, very effective, and also very competent. And so the next step after this is building agents. So an agent, like I said, is a higher level of abstraction of just a model. The model is still the brain of the whole thing. You still need a model to like the reason, but the agent is kind of like, you can schedule tasks, you can have tools, you can have a scheduler, you can define when the agent is going to execute something. So you can say, I want you to do a task tomorrow night. Boom, and next night it'll do it. And so essentially, to build agents, you can essentially just put the name of the agent, you can put the prompt, you put the model, you can use any model. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Anthropic, you can use Gemini, you can use Llama, Olama, any of these models. Then you put the number of loops. So the big thing that makes an agent a loop is that the thing that makes an agent is the loop, essentially. That is the most important thing. And there's other settings, of course, but the loop is definitively what makes an agent an agent. An agent, by definition, is a form of intelligence that has the agency to complete a task. And to complete a task, you need to have this loop. You need to know when you are working on the task that you should be working on, when you're not, when you're working on a task that you should not be working on, and how do you know that task is accomplished. And that's essentially what we need to teach these agents. And that's what constitutes an agent. So this is how it looks like, pretty simple. You just build the LLM first. You plug the LLM here, we're giving it a name. Say financial analysis agent, system prompts, max loops, autosave, we save the agent, we have a dashboard. We could have a dynamic temperature, and a dynamic temperature is basically, if we wanted to test various results, we could use temperature on every single loop, on every step, to be more random. And so that way the results can be more creative and more analytical at the same exact time. So I'm going to go ahead and start building these agents. I'm going to make a new file here called agent example.py. And then we're going to copy the code that we just wrote. And then we're going to import another thing called agents. And then from here, we can begin. We're going to delete that. We're going to build new agents. We just do it like this. And then you simply just plug in the variables that you want. So here we're going to say financial advisor agent. And then we can give it a description. So we say, essentially you'll be providing financial advice. Then the model is going to be this. We're going to plug this in. We specify the number of loops. Here we're going to say one loop. We're not going to give a dashboard. We're not going to give streaming. So streaming, you hear streaming. Streaming is you get to see each word as the model is generating it. So you see like token by token, essentially how ChatGPT works. And then that's pretty much it. We could keep adding more settings, but I think this is good for now. So essentially an agent is just a plug-and-play system that you can keep plugging things into. Like we can give this tools, we can give this memory, but for now I just want to keep it very simple so that you can see exactly what an agent is. And so now we're going to run the agent. So we're going to say, we're going to run.
Why is the maximum loops equal to 1?
Because it's just going to run once.
Okay. But normally you would put,
You can make this 5 it'll go 5 times. So you give this once, this is human, you're giving it a task. Then if you say 5 loops, it'll generate something, put that generation in its memory, and then keep running that again. It's kind of like a reasoning system, or how they would think. Because they're like how we think is a loop. We're looping on previous thoughts. So that's essentially like the loop would define like how many thoughts is it going to have in a sequential order. But for simplicity, I'm just going to show one loop. It's essentially just going to do like one generation. We could also make this infinite. So a real agent, like an actual agent, is an agent that has the ability to be in a loop forever until it knows it's finished with the task. So if we set this to auto, auto string, that means it'll loop forever. Like it'll keep looping on its thoughts. And we can add a token, so we can add a stopping token, so that if it sees this token done, it leaves the loop. Just how a human gets into a loop when we do homework, when we start programming, when we start eating food. We look at the food, we see the food is done, and we stop eating. Without that loop structure, we would just keep eating non-existent food for a long time. But essentially, and that's how the agent is work. We're just trying to simulate how humans reason, but with LLMs and math. And so that's what that would look like. So I'm going to run this once just so you can see what happens. And so we're going to run this. We're going to put the name of the file, Python 3 agent example, and then we're going to see what happens. Initializing.
The loops are shown as well.
Yep. And so boom, you have the response. So there are several strategies that small businesses can use to generally reduce their tax liabilities. Here are some effective methods. Deduct business expenses. Office supplies, utilities, rent, lease payments, marketing, home office deduction. If you run your business from home, you may qualify for a home office deduction. This allows you to deduct a portion of your home expenses, mortgage interest, utilities, repairs, based on the size of your home office. So not a lot of people know that. It's kind of interesting. If you work from home, you can actually deduct basically everything, every expense from your home into your taxes. It's pretty fun. Vehicle, if you use a vehicle for business purposes, you can deduct either the actual expense, so everything, gas, maintenance, insurance, anything related to your vehicle, you could basically use that to deduct taxes. So retirement contributions, contributing to the retirement plan, like a SEP IRA or solo 401k, not only helps you save for the future, but also helps you reduce your taxable income. Health insurance premium, if you're self-employed, you can deduct 100% of your health insurance premium from your taxable income. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's an example of just one agent in about 32 lines of code. Nothing absurd. This is just creating files, putting information in, and then just pressing another button to run the thing. It's quite simple. We have managed to make this as simple as possible. And we're going to keep reducing simplicity to just generally make it more simple. But the thing is, from this piece right here, the biggest problem with building agents is two things. The prompt, and so the system prompt and the model. So if you do not have a good system prompt, your agent is going to suck. And if you have multiple agents with bad prompts, your agents are also going to suck, and they're not going to do anything. So to really be a really good like agent engineer and build good agents that solve real world problems, you need to be very, very precise on what exactly the agent is supposed to be doing. And I'll show you my process of building a prompt. Now I want to ask one of you to give me an example of a task they want to solve with an agent, and I'll show you how to build a good prompt for the agent. Does anybody have any ideas? Yeah.
Respond to all my social media messages in a way that resonates with who I am.
Respond to all my
That might be broad. Respond to all, or reach out to all people in my direct messages, asking them a specific question.
specific question. Who are these people?
Potential leads
Leads to what?
to sell a product to,
What product?
different products, like services. You want me to say a specific service?
So generally, the more specific, like
Better.
very, very, very
Okay,
specific.
so ask everyone in my direct messages. You have to say the social media platform too?
Yeah.
Okay. To answer all messages, or reach all people in my direct message inbox on Instagram,
Yep.
asking them
Yep.
if they know anyone who could benefit from art therapy.
Said Instagram, right?
Yeah.
From art therapy.
So create a system problem for, okay. So you want to essentially reach out to people on Instagram and ask them if they know someone that would benefit from art therapy.
Yeah.
What exactly is art therapy?
Art therapy is reaching out to someone or speaking to somebody, communicating with them, discovering the challenges that they're facing, and then having them express themselves through art in response to whatever challenges they're facing.
I see. Okay, so you want to, so you want to message people. Is there a common demographic between these people? Like, are there a special, like, are there
People
any?
that are facing depression or anxiety, but that's a little bit forward to be the first message, so. Potentially want to just reach and ask, like a broad, a little bit broader, like a,
That's message number 2.
yeah. You happen to be extremely depressed or anxious every day.
Okay, so I like crafting a lot of prompts with ChatGPT. So I'll literally just like, basically as I'm doing here, I'll ask ChatGPT to create a system prompt for an agent that does X. And so essentially like, basically the prompting format is you have instructions which show the agent step by step what to do, like bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. And that's kind of like the instructions, and then you have examples. So you say, create instructions first, be very explicit, and then provide multiple examples.
Does it help to say, for example, include a role, include like rules and stuff like that? Or does it
Yeah.
generally already give it? Nice.
So lay out some rules as well for the agent. So now ChatGPT is essentially going to generate the prompts for the agent that is going to show the agent how to think. So this is the prompt. Your task is to create warm and inviting messages for Instagram outreach, asking people if they know anyone who could benefit from art therapy. What if you ask them themselves if they would be interested in art therapy?
And then have the agent do something else.
Because I feel like asking someone, I feel like asking directly the person that you're trying to discuss.
Well, most of the time it's to get referrals. necessarily to ask the person directly if they have interest. It's more like, for example, if I'm reaching a friend and then they have a child that they think could benefit from it, it's more like that. And then the more people that are reached is easier.
Do you think,
Discover new people.
do you think that instead of asking them if they know anybody, do you think that asking them directly would be beneficial?
Go forward.
Because I feel like well, not directly asking them. People don't know they need. People didn't know they needed cars when cars came out.
So
People needed a way to
there's a lot broader of a task that I would prefer for an AI agent to do first, and it's all about relationship development and building, which is to reach out to everyone and ask them how they're doing, and just try to maintain those relationships with people that I've already met and just continue ongoing communication. But I don't want that to get out of hand, because I would hate for an AI agent to make someone feel worse or confuse them on my behalf in comparison to getting directly to my target audience and trying to help them. So there might be a different question in comparison to, do you know anyone who benefits from art therapy? But it's worked for me in the past.
What's like an initial question, how you usually open up? Because when I built like an AI call center type of system, we would give examples of how we would usually intro, especially for the SMS flows. So that could be an example that you can give to the prompt or to the AI.
So I would
then
say
the first
send this
message.
link of this testimonial, and communicate that I just started opening up more time to offer expressive art therapy sessions, and send them this link that showcases the benefits that a client has had by working with me, and let them know that I would like to start opening up my calendar for more potential people that could benefit from this. If you know of anybody after watching the video, please let them know to reach out to me.
Would like an ideal philosophy maybe something where you reached out to groups that are already doing therapy, but they don't incorporate art therapy because they already have the demographic that you're looking for? So, hey, can you give me like a list of different therapist groups with children, whether it's like autism or just depression, anxiety, ADHD centers, and then you target them and say whatever your prompt is or whatever your thing would be, and then that way it's like instead of finding on Instagram, you're actually targeting those people and being specific, and they already understand what you're talking about, and it's not weird to say depression, anxiety, and then they already know where you're going with it, so that you can actually like be more specific to where you're going, and then you just tell the AI, like, hey, can you target that for me, do that research? I don't know if that's what.
No, I like that. I like both. Just the reason why I target through Instagram is because I've already met everyone. Like all the people that I have through time, and I believe in helping people that I've met along my path, like that have like hidden discoveries, like you said, that people don't even know that they needed a car, right? So I've met a lot of people that I've been able to help that didn't even like think or consider things. So I kind of want to open up the thought.
It's kind of interesting because I didn't know what art therapy was, so I think I might need art therapy myself.
And then I offer like free like trial sessions. You see how you feel, and then if you come back to me in the future, because I really enjoy doing that. So if you come back to me in the future, great. If you know of somebody that you think could benefit from it, then you relate it to them. But I would prefer working with people that I know to open up their minds. And then that's also a great idea, but it's just something different than my kind of business model, I guess. But
It's not that you have kind of two audiences, but you have a cold audience that you want to target unique people, then you have a warm audience that you're trying to kind of open doors.
yeah.
I mean, to me, like, unless you have thousands and thousands of followers.
But it's that'll be fine. I have like 5,000 people that I want to reach out to.
Wow. Relationship management is a very tiring endeavor. including me. Like I meet a lot of engineers on our Discord, and like I want to talk to them. I want to like have discussion with them, but yeah, like
Then you have to like figure out how to message people. Invite
message. So I definitely understand.
I've done a lot of copying and pasting, and I feel like that's something that I would love to see auto generated. It would help me to actually serve in comparison to just not, like doing something that I feel like could be done by a computer.
I think so. How is the way that you're currently doing this now? Do you write a super personalized message?
No, just say, hey, how you doing? Because they're all, I don't want to call them all like my super friends, but like I build good relationships, So I was like, hey, how's everything been? Let me know if you know of anybody that you think could benefit from this because I want to start doing a little more. Because initially I only found one client because I wanted to make sure that I was really like serving him. And then now that I know that it worked for him, I have a testimonial, I have something to show for it. I want to start helping more people, so I just reached out to a few, like not even necessarily warm leads, like hot leads, those like people that they know me well, they know that I want to serve well, and then they can just vouch for me. And they respond. The few people that I reached out to, I think I did like 10 of them. But then it's been months or like half a year. They said, yeah, like I'll let you know if I can think of anybody. I think that's awesome. And then one of my friends said, yeah, I think my ex-girlfriend could benefit from that. so you know what? She was being real. So it's like. But,
What is the end goal, right?
thank you guys for taking the time to talk about it. I was just trying to help with the prompt. The end result would be to be able to get like, maybe 5 at the maximum people that I can truly serve, that know someone that knows me, because that also shows the trust, where it's like I'm not telling my best friend like, hey, you should go get therapy. Like I'm saying, hey, one of my friends is doing something really cool. She's an artist and she works with painting and she can maybe help you heal from some of the stuff you've been
And so would they be needing to call a number, for example, at the very end? So for example, with the end state,
call to action.
right? So we call to action,
tell
right?
them to text me.
Yeah. So generally, like sometimes what I would do, maybe this could be for the system prompt, is the call to action is to call a specific number. So you provide that number, and in the intro, you give the example you usually say for the very first message. So that'd be like the hook response. So for the very first message, essentially, provide the example that you would say. You provide that, and then for all other messages, just kind of essentially have rules, right?
And then have those. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Go to the call to action.
what's the call to action? Is to book a call or?
Yeah, or like either on Calendly,
Okay.
to talk to me, or to text me.
Got it. So like link. Okay.
Like directly get to me.
Do you have an example of a message that you want to generate right now?
Yeah, say, hey, someone told me that you're doing some, well, I should be super specific.
We need a person's name. What is
Okay,
their name?
just use Jasmine, for example.
Okay.
Jasmine told me that you're offering art therapy, or you're offering a free trial of art therapy.
Mhm.
I wanted to try it out. Can you tell me more?
So this is a pretty, I put the prompt in. This is what the prompt looks like. It's
a little small for me.
oh, it's small?
It's from yeah, well, no, it's small.
It was large, now it's smaller. You could zoom in 2 or 3 times. There we go. That's probably perfect.
So I'm basically, I'm just giving you instructions. I'm saying your task is to create warm and inviting messages for Instagram outreach, asking people if they know anyone who could benefit from art therapy. Always maintain a gentle, kind, and empathetic tone. Make the recipient feel valued and avoid being pushy or sales driven. The goal is to build trust and evoke a feeling of care and support.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, so I didn't build this at all. I just told ChatGPT.
But what you told it is very smart. That's probably what I would try to say too.
Yeah, so then we have rules. So we have rules for crafting the message. We say be kind and warm, respect boundaries, gratitude, and respect.
I like
Great
to be
pick.
short and concise.
And then we have some examples. So ChatGPT built the examples, and yeah. So then we just took this. This is a long string. So in Python, you can have very long strings if you just say 3. So if you have to give it 3 strings in the beginning, and then 3 strings in the end. And this way you can have very, very big strings. Like this prompt. This is very big. And then this is the variable, so this is how the computer remembers that this is the prompt. And then we're going to pass this to the agent. System prompt equals our therapy system prompt. I'm going to post this code in the general chat, so anybody can use it or check it out. All you need is your key, OpenAI key, and it should work.
Could you present again on your StreamYard? The StreamYard.
Oh,
yeah.
it turned off?
Yeah, because whenever the computer sleeps, it turns off.
Oh. Where was it?
Wherever on the
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on the browser somewhere.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
How would you integrate the agent into social media?
Then just do the present at the bottom.
So for that, you would need a tool. You would have to create a tool. I'll show you how to do that now. And then you would get an API key or some other. Okay. So I'll show you how to do that. We can go to ChatGPT here because the code, the tool is going to be code. So we have to build the code to do that, which nobody here knows, I can guarantee. We're going to ask it, so we're going to say, build a function that you want it to send a DM.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we access that? Can?
Yeah, can you put the link in the general chat for the?
Yeah, so, yeah.
She'll put it right now.
In Discord?
Yeah.
All right, is this possible? I think, so the way that, so you could definitely integrate this with the agent, and then that would be tool usage. So giving an agent, like enabling an LLM like OpenAI to interact with the outside world is essentially what you're trying to do here. You're trying to actually make it take action on Instagram, and the way you do that is through a tool. So we have to build a custom function in Python to be able to do that. And then we have to pass this tool into OpenAI so that it could actually take the action. And so this is what it looks like. I don't know if this is going to work. I might need to try this out myself. But we can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to create a new tool, a new file called IGTool. And then it's asking us to download this package. This package is called Instagram API. And we're going to install this package again. So it's going to say it's Instagram API. I don't know how to say that.
Instagram API.
Yeah. So now we should have it, and now we need to actually put in our username and password. Wait, is it password?
API key.
I have a question on this. So you actually send the entire file to OpenAI, and it knows how to insert the variables for the function, or?
No. So I'm going to change this. So the only thing that the agent should be importing here is the actual thing that you want it to do. So that it obviously doesn't know the username. We have to put that in. And OpenAI doesn't know the password. So we're going to say here, username equals, then we're going to have another
we're gonna have another environment variable called Instagram username and Instagram password. And then we're just gonna plug this in here.
How are you gonna have the system log into Instagram with a password?
What do you mean?
Usually it's an API key that Instagram generates for you.
I've never seen an API key for Instagram.
Because, yeah, that's right.
It's, it depends on what this package is for Instagram. Maybe somebody,
Yeah,
maybe it's not an official Instagram API package.
because I don't even think does Instagram even have.
I don't know, you gotta check it out. It might
Go
come
with
with
that.
I've put the GPT in the description. Did you delete for the user? You have that right?
Right?
Yeah, it's a very good.
So Instagram API is the unofficial one, but might work.
So now, if this function works, we can, if it's functional, we can go ahead and start posting things on Instagram. But that's some time because you need to actually test this. And then, so the way that you integrate this tool into an agent is, well, first you put the code, you make sure that all the secret information is being fetched from a secret file, and then you take this, you go back to the code, or to the agent, and then you're gonna say, you're gonna import it first. Send Instagram like that, and then you're gonna put it in here. And then that's how you would use that. Now to actually do that, we would have to play around with the, actual tool. I can help you do that after this, but it would take some time.
Thank you for showing the before process.
Yeah, so right here, if everything goes well, if the function does work and ChatGPT didn't give us a bad tool, it would be able to actually post things on Instagram. But I don't want to dox myself and give away my Instagram password.
No.
So,
Happy to see.
Makes sense.
what was that?
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, questions.
Go first. Well, I'm just trying to see, do events, right? By the way, and I'm trying to figure out how to get more followers and affinity to the site. How will this work? How will this help me reach more people, different demographics, like further out?
So, a very common thing is, so we have, what social medias do you use?
Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook, X. Okay, I'll show you how to build that. So we're gonna create a new file, and what's the name of the account?
305 Fights.
What was that?
305 Fights TV.
305 Fights. Okay, so that requires multiple agents, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So, so this is the
Like, where we access to the board is like,
Yeah, we have it on screen right here.
well, I have here, I don't know if I can see it later, but we probably have one.
I can send you this. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, all right, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna take some example code that I used earlier to make this simple. And then we're gonna customize this. So, okay, we're gonna ask ChatGPT to help us with this. So actually, for the most part, whenever I'm building an agent, I actually have agents like ChatGPT helping me build more agents. ChatGPT was trained on trillions of words. It has seen more information than any of us will probably ever see in our short lives. So we can use that benefit to help us accelerate this. So for your example, I'm gonna show you how to do it. So We need to create agents that promote what 305.
305.
Okay, 305.
TV. TV.
On all social media platforms. What's your Instagram?
355.
Just like that, in capital,
TV.
like that.
Yeah, TV.
What is it that you do? Or what's?
We also look for amateur fighters to come in, try to get the rank to be a professional.
I'm not want to come in.
As a fighter?
We train a little bit more.
You're
I've been training MMA for 13 years.
Kickboxing and like Muay Thai. But I've been learning Krav Maga, so yeah. Well, some of it you do use. Also, Jiu-Jitsu is pretty fun. Oh yeah. Okay. Host events for amateur fighters. Do you have a link? It disconnected. Oh, okay. So we're gonna say create specialized agents
For 305.
Do you delete for the Instagram?
Yes.
I can send it over.
For every social media. Do you want to promote the account or the event? Or events?
The account will have everything all in.
Something in general.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful for it to be geographic to South Florida?
Yeah. What's the
Starting
demographic?
out, yeah, but we're trying to get more for the live streaming, worldwide. We're trying to main focus on.
What's the like target user demographic?
Usually be people who are in fighting, people who are in all kinds of different. It's really big, it's a huge general field.
Yeah. Say maybe.
Probably 17 to 65. A lot of them are coaches too, like regional coaches.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, then we're gonna just give it one last part. So. So basically what it's going to do now, it's going to essentially create different specialized agents to promote your brand on different social medias that are personalized for each of those social medias. So you go to see exactly like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social medias. And you basically say, today we have a live stream, boxing or whatever the event is, and like it'll create those posts for those platforms for you.
So we do a lot of content. We do a lot of content, but like I said, we're just trying to reach, actually see it. Like, we're just trying to get out there. But we create 3-4 videos a week, put them on there. So to get that agent would post those and do like snippets or something so people can log into or follow up.
Yeah. So the agents, it's already finished, I think. So the agents, we're going to specialize them, and then you say like today we're throwing an event. Today we're throwing an event for just like Fight Night next weekend. And then basically all the agents are going to generate posts that are promoting the thing that you give it. So if you say, today we have Kai fighting an agent or something, just like, then like all those different agents on those different platforms are going to be promoting that one event. Yeah, so I think it's finished now. We could try it out. model name here should be for mini. And yeah, so it should work.
4 ways is the newer frame, so it's cheaper to
What was that?
4 ways is the newer model.
Yeah. So it created how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It created 6 agents on the post. So if we can give a, like now it's running, it works. But now you need to give me like do you have an event that you want
Yeah,
to run?
November 2nd. You know, it's been November 2nd.
Okay. November 2nd. What is it?
November 2nd.
Do you have more details?
6 p.m.
No.
Manual art time theater.
November 2nd, 6 p.m. Who's fighting
It's
who?
open at 6 p.m. The fight begins at 7. And it's at Manual Art Time Theater.
Oh, is that the actual event?
No, yeah, I was looking it up, so I can.
Oh, that's, okay. Okay, where is it? Okay, so
Manuel Art Time Theater. Do you want the actual address?
Manuel Art Time?
Art Time.
Like Art Time?
ARTIME.
Like that?
The theater.
Okay.
Theater. Not, yeah.
Little Havana.
What was that?
Little Havana.
Little Havana? At what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Is there a link?
I don't have it. I'm usually that one that takes care of all the social media stuff.
Oh.
I'm
I
here
can
very
airdrop it to you.
Okay, so we're gonna say,
Just to cut it at the end.
what?
You can concatenate it at the end, prompt and stuff, instead of rewriting it. Control E and concatenate task and prompt at the end. After all these default statements, before agent run, yeah, just task plus prompt and it will do the same thing.
Oh, okay. I'll put it down. Okay. Another error.
I think I was dealing with this the other day. You might have to put like the agent OS environment right below the first import statement.
What is it, this?
Yeah, I think maybe just put it right below import OS,
Oh, like
right at the top.
this or the agent?
I just put all of it kind of right. Well, maybe not before SWARMS.
Is the missing workspace here thing?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. The thing is though, I don't have it. So I don't have it in the .env. I can't put it in the .env in the env because then it would show my keys.
Yeah.
So I have to manually import it every time I run it. So we got the post. It says get ready for an epic night of fights. And then this was the Facebook agent. Tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to win this incredible fighters. Battle it out in the ring. Bring your friends and family for a night filled with excitement, community, and fierce competition. Location, Manual Airtime Theater, Little Havana, time 6 p.m., date November 2nd. And then you have the link. If you have a link, then like it would give you. Yeah, so this is outputs. I want to try out something new. to kind of visualize this a little bit better. So I'm just gonna clean this out because this is not nice. So now we're going to try a swarm, which is a multiple agents, and it's going to be the spreadsheet swarm. So this swarm is going to basically give us all the outputs in a CSV file, so we can see all the different posts for every agent.
Would it show also the people that view it, or would it be how many accounts it is? Would it show that, or would that be different?
That would be on the platform that you're using.
Instagram and like Facebook lets you view like your insights, like how many people have seen it, how many times it's shared, non-followers, followers.
So to get all that information, I have to just go to the platform.
Yeah.
To see how many people have actually seen it. Post. And the agents are actually getting out.
Yep. So this is the example code on the documentation. We're just going to copy this, make it easy. And it already has the name, description. So I'll save. So now we're going to run the swarm on the same exact task that we had, which I deleted.
How to create an agent though to actually like collect that information.
Yeah. So there we have it. Now we just need the task, which is, I'm just going to make it easy here. Let's say prompt equals create post to advertise and then this would be the I'm going to say this is the task, so this is the agents. And put that there, boom, and now we're going to run this. And that should be good. So now if everything goes according to plan, then we'll see all of the outputs in the CSV. But we have to do this again. So we're going to run this. So we just made the agents, and we're saying create posts to advertise the upcoming fight night events. And then we're saying the task November 2nd and our time theater Little Havana at 6 p.m. And then once this is finished, we're going to see all the outputs in the CSV, so we can see it much easier, basically.
And then I have to attach that to the platform, or would it do by itself?
So you can do that by itself if you made the tool. So it would essentially be the same tool that she wanted.
Okay.
But for that would take a little bit of time debugging because you have to take your Instagram password, your username, then you have to give that tool to every agent. I mean, what you can do in one line of code here, but like just making sure that APIs are good for that will take some time. So if you want to work on this, I'd love to help work on this with you. But just trying out those tools. So like the APIs to enable the agents to interact with Instagram or Gmail or Google Calendar, or just generally take actions out like in the platforms that you wish, you will essentially need to find an API for that platform and then connect that API to your agents. And so like making sure that works takes some time. But we are building kind of like our marketplace for tools so that someone could easily just like if you had a tool to send an email, or submit code, or like fetch the news. Like we have tools for this on our website, swarms.world. So we could just take this and integrate it if we wanted. But in your case, it's a new tool to post on Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. So that's how tools work. So we have the CSV.
Do you have any tool for hosting to like a specific social media platform so we could test it on one platform?
The thing is that you would have to make different tools for each of those platforms.
I guess what I'm saying is there a tool available for one platform that we could try now? Or there's no social media tool in the library as of now?
There's not one that I have right now.
Another point is that you want to like test it to make sure that the output comes the right way before you officially push to the platform.
What was that?
Like have a sandbox to test like a private account or something.
Yeah.
Post it so it looks the right.
I mean, I would try now, but I would have to show my password, which I don't want to mess up my.
I have a question about the tools. Like, say you make 10 tools for one agent. How do they know which tool to use?
You have to tell them the prompt.
Got it.
So the system prompts, you would say you would have to be very, very specific.
Yes.
I mean, like, but that's the thing though. An agent shouldn't have maybe more than 4 or 5 tools. That's like even that's pushing it.
Yeah.
It should just have maybe 1, 2 tools. Like in his case, he wants to post to Facebook and Instagram. So there should be different, like there should be 2, 3 tools for that platform for that agent. Like an Instagram agent shouldn't have access to a Twitter agent's tool, basically. So it has to be very specific. Like it cannot get more specific.
Yeah.
And if you can do that really well, then the agent will be really, really useful. If you cannot do that well, the agent's just not going to do good. Because the reason why, and I'll show you now, is so there was a paper called Long Agents, Scaling Language Models to 128,000 Contexts through Multi-Agent Collaboration. And basically it says, this paper says that this is kind of like the memory system of an AI, basically. In the middle, red is basically forgets. So basically, if you only have an agent, it's only going to mostly remember the things in the beginning and the things at the end. And it's not even going to remember the things in the end. It's mostly going to forget everything after the beginning. So you have to just like make sure it's in the right spot. And if it's in that right spot, that green spot, like right here, this is only like maybe 10,000 words, like 20,000 words. In the beginning, it would do really good. But like pushing that is the agent's not going to do too good. And when you have multiple tools, the tools fill up the agent's memory very quickly. So it has to be like very compact, very simple, and just very direct.
When you say memory, you mean like the context window?
Yeah.
Is that because you're passing the tool itself to the context window, or?
So a tool is basically JSON.
Yeah.
So this is what a tool looks like. It's very big. There's a lot of this is what a tool looks like. So the agent, this is what's going to get sent to the agent, and then it also has to output this.
Yeah.
But look at this. This is all tokens. These are all tokens, and it's going to waste up a lot of space pretty quickly because it has to output this exactly. So then tool usage, the way tool usage works, it's a 3-step process. So you give this to the agent, it's going to output that. Then you need to parse this and send the output to the API. And that's generally how tool usage works for agents. Parsing and then activation. So this takes up a lot of space, a lot of space. So you can only really have, you could probably have 50 tools really well, maybe with Claude. Claude has a long context window, so maybe you can have a long, multiple tools with Claude. But generally speaking, if you have more than 3, 4, 5, it's not gonna do good.
Got it. But I mean, tools are pretty much like a program you write, you give it to the agent, but the JSON represents like what you're passing to the tool. For example, like in your function, you create a parameter like send this message to Instagram, but it takes the parameter of message. So you need this JSON in order to figure out what goes into the message property of that function.
Yeah, so it's only going to be spitting out JSON. It has to be spitting out JSON. And within that JSON, it's going to waste a lot of tokens.
Got it, understood. All right.
So in the prompt, you would say there's 4 or 5 tools. It's going to see the JSON of that tool. And you'd have to say, I want you to use, if the user says, send an Instagram post, you would have to say, I want you to send a post if the user says to send a post to Instagram. Or use this tool when the user says to send a post on Instagram. You would have to clarify when to use a tool and when not to use the tool.
Yeah.
So I ability to go on the web. I just want to show you an example of something we did in January of 2023. If you look for Roscoe's Dreams, so it's roscoes.dreams on Instagram as the user account.
Wait, say it again?
ROSCOES dot dreams. Roscoe's Dreams. That's OES. Roscoe's Dreams.
Roscoe's. O E
Yeah,
S.
OES.
The very first word. ROS. ROS.
ROSCOES.
Roscoe's Chicken.
OES.
Yes, dot dreams.
No Roscoe's Chicken? No Roscoe's Chicken.
So this was just a test.
In LA, right? In LA. I think they have them here as well.
Is that a chicken place?
Yeah.
Who said chicken? Is it actually?
Yeah, Roscoe's Dreams. That's
Look here, Roscoe's.
So this is the test that we did in January of 2023, where we were generating an image using ChatGPT and a message using ChatGPT, and then getting Zapier to actually take the Instagram API to post it on Instagram. However, we had one step in between, which was very important, which will probably answer your question. We generated a web page with 3 examples of a post every 8 minutes, allowing the user to then decide which post to make. So there's also a workflow attached to this, and you want to make sure that the user is approving. Such as yourself, you want to make sure that you're approving what's getting posted. Because if for some strange reason it goes off the rails, when we were developing art, we might have sent out some, like I've got naked images in my art, right? So that
Yeah.
could have been a problem.
They call that what? Human in the loop.
Yeah.
Human in the loop.
Yeah, so you want to be able to say to yourself, yeah, if you have an employee, that human is in the loop,
Right.
making sure that the quality of the content is good, right? But it's just for them reading and clicking. So a 3-hour process comes down to a 1 hour. But you can do it, again, you can build a tool, which is a Python program that takes the API keys for the API location of the social media network that you're posting to. So you've got an account in that social media network. You go to Facebook and get the API key for that, just like you have the API key for ChatGPT. So, and then the tool will post automatically for you, but it facilitates it more accurate. Yeah, so just make sure that you have one step before that, which is reviewing the content before doing it. But you can also have, the great thing is you can have variations in the content before you do it. So you can save content, in your workflow. Yeah.
Right. And I think I might be able to build this.
So the problem with this, yeah, I mean, you saw it. Yeah, no. This was just at the time. This is January 2023, so it became very expensive to get subscribers, right? So because you were generating every 3 minutes, and you were maybe getting 1 subscriber every 2 days, right? So it just didn't make sense for us.
One of the questions that I have for something to build,
is there a way with, because I can do this, with vanilla Python, classically create my own agents, but from a Swarm perspective, one of the things that I could do for example, all of our GPTuesdays events, I just run some examples of the previous events, right? Put that into examples, and then provide the new content of the description, the title, the presenter, etc., and then pass it into the content for Claude in some XML tags. And then I generate, say, the LinkedIn post. But the thing is, that doesn't work for all the social media posts. But I would like to essentially, instead of generating like kind of different ones for each one, focus on the LinkedIn post, but then reformat it, right, for Instagram, Twitter, etc., and also have it like maybe like a feedback process, something like this. I don't know if that's kind of possible in the Swarms process, but is that something that can be done?
So you want to take an existing post?
Yes.
And optimize the posts
Well,
with different platforms?
generate with Claude, for example, one post for LinkedIn, and then optimize that one LinkedIn post. Then, like basically, one for Twitter, one for Instagram, one for Facebook, because some of them might require some different things. Like a Twitter is like 280 or whatever the number is characters, and then Instagram, you might not want to include the Luma page, for example. So then you just want to add some rules, but would something like that be possible in Swarms?
Okay, yeah, so to summarize, you want to take an existing post and then optimize that post for different platforms?
Right, precisely. So like specifically generate.
You want it to generate the post?
Yeah, so it generates it first, and then it changes it, modifies it basically.
So it changes, generates,
Yes.
then modifies.
Yes.
What is the modification heuristic?
Essentially, Twitter 280 characters, make it snappy, and then
So the rules and guidelines of each platform?
yeah, are gonna be slightly different.
And what works best for each platform, I guess. So for Twitter, it's just like simple text without much
Precisely.
about it.
Like 280, then
Hashtags for some.
oh, and then for example, Telegram, you want it to be maybe only a paragraph, and then the full announcement here and point to the Luma, for example. So very slight modifications for each one, for example. Like because like for Telegram, for example, we'll put like, oh, we have a workshop with Swarms featuring Kai Gomez and a few people helping, Tad and everything, and then kind of show like the date, the location, etc. Maybe like another blurb, then it'll say the full announcement here, and then point to the Luma page so they go there instead of taking too much space in Telegram.
Right. I mean, I think we showed that. Guys showed that last time, right? When we were on Tuesday, there was the spreadsheet form that I think you built the UI for, right? And it spit out a couple of different posts for each social media.
Right.
And each social media had its own spice to it, right? It had the emojis at the front, for example, I don't know, Telegram. It has those animated emojis. It had the hashtags for Twitter, which are most popular out there, for LinkedIn as well. And I mean, I think we've already showed that with the previous one.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, the only thing with that though is that they're all going to be quite a little bit different for each one, I would imagine. Whereas if you generate just one, and then you could just essentially cut it down essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea.
But maybe that is exactly the same. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kai, what he's describing, the rearrange agent, right? You could have it generate one post for one platform, and then you want that one post
Yes.
customized
Exactly.
for each platform.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
don't want a post generated
For each one,
for
right?
each one.
Yeah.
You want this one post and then a slight variation of it.
So it's
Exactly.
It's more similar.
You could do that with this.
Exactly. I want it to be very similar, just modified. Basically, yeah, not modified, but cut down or something like that.
Yeah, so his platform, he has a number of different swarms,
Yeah.
swarm types. There's one called the rearrange swarm. The classes, yeah.
Rearrange, nice.
Yeah, or the rearrange swarm. And then I've been building a low-code UI for his rearrange swarm. Everybody can actually go visit it. Demo.swarms.world. And you can try this out yourselves right now. The only thing you have to do is sign in. Demo.swarms.world.
That's the one you showed on the.
Yeah, demo.swarms.world.
Amazing, thank you. When you're instantiating the model for OpenAI, I think it's possible to limit the max token length output for like the Twitter one explicitly. But you could also tell a prompt to do it.
Yeah.
So that way you can do it. Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just building the agents now. I'll show you what that looks like.
I'm just curious how it looks with the rearrange agent. Yeah.
So rearrange is very simple.
Yeah.
You basically give a list of agents,
Mhm.
and then you say, you take their name, and you say, I want this agent to talk with that agent, this agent will talk to this agent, just by putting an arrow sign. So you put an arrow sign, and you say, I want the Twitter agent or the generator agent to then send the generation of the social media posts to all the different optimizers agents. And so, so there'll be one agent that generates the post.
Right.
And then those agents will then optimize the post for every social media platform.
Nice, that's cool. Yeah.
And then you can say, I'll show you now what it looks like. It's very simple.
Oh, and can you share your present your screen again on the screen guard?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not showing on the live stream.
Pat, there is an authentication error. We has it also.
Okay, you're good. Thank you.
Where in Discord are the things that you've been posting?
General
Channel. You see?
Yep. No. It's in the board, right? It's like legal register and then
Oh, just right over there. Good job.
Yeah.
thank you all.
I guess in this case we could use Twitter and just as an example.
For this
I just finished. We'll just go to the restroom.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Just one step away.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's just one step away from getting on the issue.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like one step away.
Once that's integrated, putting your API key, then pretty much that. Yeah. One of the things I want to do is I do want to automate all this information, at least for all that. Because I'm already using Clockwork anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so one additional thing that you can do. I don't know about Discord, but in Zoom, you have the ability to pause. You have the ability to pause recording, pause the share, so that you're not showing your API keys. Right? So I don't know if Discord, but Zoom definitely does. You pause it, you do your put on your API key, and you go away from that screen unpause. Right? So
Yeah.
maybe in the future,
Yeah. And technically, I could do something like this. I could actually just.
no, I mean, he can actually pause the screen share.
Right.
So that even we don't see it.
Right. You mean on the TV?
So this, when it's broadcasting, he pauses it. What's the API key? Broadcast. Yeah. And so the recording is still going, but it's just showing the previous screen during the time it's pausing the broadcast. That's how we used to do it on Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah. And it really unblocks a lot of information. Especially for live demonstration.
That feedback.
Well, you recorded it as well.
Yes. Yes. And so one of the next tricks I'm going to try to do too is I want to use read all the transcripts of all the live streams and then generate like a summary of not summary but like a newsletter, right? And then a newsletter from the final content. Boom. If you can point that out, I mean, YouTube is really become super automated.
And then I'll quote my agent to read through those summaries. And so I don't have to attend.
Yeah.
The agent can just tell me what I want from what you've taught us.
Yes, exactly. Just build all the knowledge of the 10 points of every presentation. Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
On the stage and go for it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, happen again.
It did happen again. Okay, sounds good.
To your knowledge, do you know that you just created an agent?
Now you know. You're aware.
What complicates more agents based off of the question matters?
Yeah. That's a swarm.
Exactly. So that would.
Prioritize. We have an agent that builds other agents. So you don't have to make your company.
That's not your agent size.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
I don't think we code for it.
yeah, I heard about Swarms at Tuesdays, it's that brainstorm, PDF third. I think John probably was John that I worked with. And trying to get agents that work staff agents, and they relay. I'm just looking for like a general framework that I can put up right now or
We have a question from the live stream. Colleen is wondering. Oh, I was saying we have a question from the live stream. Colleen is wondering, instead of trying to connect to each tool directly, assuming you could instead send data via a webhook to a tool like Zapier or Make, and then use their integrations to send data to the other platforms. Oh, I'll repeat. Instead of trying to connect to each tool directly, assuming you could instead, so I'll just start over. Instead of trying to connect to each tool directly, assuming you could instead send data via a webhook to a tool like Zapier or Make, and then use their integrations to send data to other platforms, is a question from Livestream.
Yeah, you definitely could. I'm going to work on building a tool for that right after this. To essentially have so the input is very simple. So Zapier's natural language is that you give it natural language and then it'll generate an action from that. So if you give it permissions to use Facebook, you say, I want you to post on Facebook, and then it'll post on Facebook.
Oh, cool. So connected to Zapier or Make or something, you'd be able to have permission, then you can just do it.
So Zapier has a natural language API called NLA. Zapier NLA. And right after this, when I have some time, I'm going to cook up a tool for that.
Nice.
So it's very general. The agent just says, I want to use Instagram. I'll just put it on this.
Amazing. Thank you. I think that answers your question.
Yeah, I was looking that up earlier. So yeah, also your swarm is done.
Oh, cool.
So let's see if it works. Might not work. It might work. Let's see. So it's running. We have all these agents running, and so the rearrange is very simple. Like I said, you define the arrows. So here we're saying the arrows, the post generator agent is going to talk to Telegram optimizer, Discord optimizer, and then so we can make this even better by adding comma signs. So if we add a comma sign to this, that means that all these agents will be activated in parallel. So the arrows mean sequential. They're sending the outputs from one agent to the next. And then if we put a comma sign, that means it's all happening concurrently.
So basically, what I took was the rearrangement and then the parallels.
Oh, nice. Great. Right.
So you would do LinkedIn.
Yeah, so-
Right.
arrow,
Concurrent,
and then you
asynchronous.
do X, comma,
That's cool.
Telegram, comma, right?
Right. Boom. And that could give us some examples of something for each of the optimizers.
So this is the flow.
Potentially
Play around with it.
play around. Yeah.
If you see here, like post generator agent, it's gonna send to Telegram, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, and then now they're all working together.
Nice. Very cool.
So I'll send the code for this now, so you can generate all the GPT Tuesday propaganda you could ever want.
Yes.
Can you actually get it close to Discord?
Yeah. Can you post that to this?
I did.
Oh,
No, as in get your agent to post it to Discord.
You need a tool for that. But you could build a tool if you wanted to do that.
No, don't go into it. I'm wondering what hosting tool you might have immediate experience with that we could do it live. But if you don't
The
know,
thing is though, all those hosting tools like that would need API keys,
yeah,
and that would require me exposing those API keys to everybody in the room.
what you can do, just you can pause your share, put the API key in. We can't see it because it's paused, and then unpause it. Like when you're in different.
I'll show you. So I'll show you what my process is like for this. So to do this, right? I have a special GPT I made just to help me write functions.
It's on Discord.
Yeah. So I just use this GPT, and I'm going to say, create a tool that posts a message to Discord. Cool. The username are the API keys and all of the secret information should be fetched by a .env for secret control. Make the function reliable and use good docs. Okay, so now it's going to create a tool that posts a message on Discord. Hopefully, if it's good. So basically, it's just going to send an API request to Discord. But the thing is, I don't know if this is, can we use Discord's official API? So Discord has an API that you would have to use for this.
Well, it's
problem-
actually your own Discord server in the Discord farm, right? So the server, there may not be a central API, but there may be an API for your Discord server. So that then would have to be public. So I don't think it's publicly accessible. So it might not be.
I'm confused. Could you go deeper?
So in an API request, you have to have the server that you're making the API request to. If there's a central system like you were saying, which I don't believe is, like this is your specific Discord server in the server farm, right? So there's a chance that that server doesn't have a public URL. You might need the API specific.
I built some Discord bots in the past, and you need the so there's a key that Discord can give you.
Okay.
And so this code is actually good here. You need a token, and then you need a channel ID.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy this, and then the debugging begins. We have to actually try this out. Try this. Let's see. Discord tool. And another thing, it should be synchronous. This is asynchronous. We're going to say it should be synchronous. And then we have to actually test this. Let's see.
So the thing is with some of these tools, it can take, adding tools is kind of complicated because you need secrets, and then you also need to know the exact API for the tool that you're trying to learn. And every API is different. Every API is maybe not updated, and it's just kind of a mess. And it takes some time.
Yeah, it's like building middleware. Just it takes time.
So, like this might work. I don't know if this will work though. You just have to like try it out, I guess. Like I don't. Wish I could this. Grant, did you see the code that I sent?
Oh yeah.
You should try running that yourself and see if it works.
Yeah, I'll give that a try. Probably later tonight when we get some more time. Thank you for sharing.
This is going to take too much time now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some tools for social media posting, like maybe Facebook or even Discord that I know for sure work in the marketplace. So then you can just basically copy and paste it and import it into your own agent application. But tool usage just like generally takes a long time. So yeah, before we're gonna have to finish up here pretty soon, but I just really want to communicate how valuable prompting is. Prompting is 80% of your agent's performance will come from your system prompts. If your prompt is not good, your agent is useless. I'm going to keep saying this again because I don't think people understand what good is. They've never seen a good prompt. Like that right there is a good prompt. You are an advanced AI designed to analyze financial and accounting statements, extracting, summarizing key statistics. Your primary goal is to provide structured knowledge that highlights financial health, whatever. And then you have instructions, and then if you wanted to make this a really good prompt, you would add examples. Yes.
Is Markdown like the kind of the best format for that?
Yeah. So Markdown is simple to read because you can see what's highlighted, what's not. Like double hashtags up there. The pink is the title. Humans can see that it's a title, and so can the agents. And so the agents can separate the boundaries between the title and then the actual bullet points. So it's very effective.
And another thing that's pretty interesting too is that you might notice there's 2 hashtags there for instructions for the Markdown. What I understand too is that for ChatGPT that's really useful, and then for Claude they use XML tags for some of the sections as well. So
One more comment.
it depends on the model.
This is something that we learned from Crew AI's presentation,
Right.
and in general, it's pretty well known. And you're actually including it there, but it's a good thing to talk about it, which is for better prompting, telling the agent to play the role of something gives you a much better prompt.
Right.
So that you're actually doing that at the top, but just general advice: if you know about an expert role that the agent should play, then tell it explicitly to play that role.
Right. Like so, for example, for 305 Fights TV, you are a professional events planning writer, and for multiple social media accounts. That'll be a good role. Essentially.
How so we prompt. But I just been involved for a while, so.
It's probably the training of the LMs because they have been in
happening here. Maybe we are still, we are speaking the same network, but we're not the same data. So is there a movement for standards needed?
Yes, to answer prompting. Yes, there are common reusable like so the instructions. This is pretty much the best standard that you're probably going to get. So prompting is very specialized to the model that you're using.
Exactly. So there's no standard.
I mean, well, there are standards.
data pipeline's already kind of trying to ensure if it's like a pure sequential thing or if it doesn't require any sort of hierarchy, you know? So like, let's say I have like some kind of like data fabric and Power BI and all this stuff already doing all these things for me without AI. It's just like, if I'm in an enterprise client, like why would I? That's going to take a lot of me, you know, to want to change that.
I think I see, but the point of sequential is that, let's say you have a data engineering team, right? It's a massive bank. The data engineering team is going to take a couple of weeks just to make one single iteration on a migration in the database. So you could actually just accelerate that, and that whole pipeline, the entire flow can happen in less than maybe 20 seconds with a bunch of agents. The agents can create the migrations, run the migration, analyze any results of the migrations, run fixes, make sure the database is scalable. Like, you can also create a full entire report and schema for the entire migration. Like the sequential pipeline is with agents, depending on what task it is unparalleled. It's faster, more efficient, more accurate than any alternative.
Yeah, coding those pipelines, then for sure, like use the agents. But like running tasks, like, you know, when do you just replace automated tasks, you know, that already exist?
Well, I mean, if it's automated, then you don't need an agent.
Right,
You should
that's
just,
what I'm saying.
if you actually need actual reasoning,
So
then that's when you would use the agent. So, yeah. Only in Avid that you would need actual reasoning would you, like, I need to generate code, I need to generate this, I need to summarize this, I need to analyze that. That's more or less the use case.
You had a question too.
Yeah, question over here.
Would you advise that your agents are also well for using for like a conversational type of framework? And do they also, do you think they would also, would you also say that they quicker, would you also advise like working with like a Grok instance?
Say it again.
Would you also like, if I wanted like a kind of as a very low latency conversation, you think the Swarm enough working with the like 11 Labs and Whisper and stuff like that would be good enough, or do you think it would also work better on top of a Grok instance? You know the
Grok. So most of the time taken in Swarm execution is going to be sending and receiving a response from the model. So if you use Grok, obviously that time is cut in half, more than a half, or whatever acceleration that is. Like getting a response from OpenAI is the most time-consuming. If you wanted to have Grok as the main LLM of each agent, it would be extremely fast.
not Grok like Elon Musk Grok, but
the other one. There's so many Groks. I don't know who thought that would be a good name for a model. Should be like Orion or like Hyperion or something, you know, something cool. Yeah.
But yeah, my main question was definitely if this would be work well using with a voice framework.
So,
I think Whisper as example, but any of them are out there.
So if you wanted to use, so Whisper, you should look into Fast Whisper or Whisper X. So Whisper X is a really fast Whisper model that like really fast. It's like 70 times faster than normal Whisper. So I would use that. If you wanted to make this really fast, use this, Whisper X, use Grok, and then 11 Labs is kind of fast, but I don't.
I meant to say it for that. I don't want to train any new voices. It's kind of a marketplace of voices.
I see. Yeah.
The other day you mentioned that you had the agents call you at the end of doing all this. How does that work? How do you go out of this?
Blank. So,
Okay, yeah,
this is a new company,
Yeah.
new AI startup, that essentially lets you, like, they let you call people with agents. And so, by taking a response, if I just take an agent's response, I feed that into the agent, and then it'll call you.
but so the model becomes, the LLM becomes blend? Is that how you?
So this is all, I would also declare blind, so blind is an agent. So you
Right.
give it a task, and then it'll call you, and then everything that you say on the phone call, it's a loop. I say something, it says
Right.
something, and then you can specify how long the phone call will be. Of course, the longer the call is, the more money they're gonna take, you know, but, yeah. So blind is essentially like an agent, it loops, but it's talking to you in real time, probably using something like 11 labs. So I mean, I've done that in the past, but I don't know if I have an API key that works now. I used up all my free credits. So they're kind of expensive though, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But my very good friend here, Grant, was also using Blinds.
Yes. Yeah, I was using Blend as well. Really great system. I've used it to help build AI call centers in the past where it would basically be able to answer any questions from FAQs, et cetera, then loop you into a meeting schedule for a life insurance agent, or a variety of different job functions from, as I said, life insurance agencies, political campaigns, which, you know, some people did reach out to us for that, and other type of systems as well. So Blend, so what I would imagine is you essentially get the prompt, you know, back from it. If you wanted to do with V1, because there's two versions to Blend, there's conversational pathways, and then there's also just regular, give it a big prompt pathway, which I don't really advise, but you know, you could generate prompts and then provide that to Blend, or you could figure out a way for it to actually generate conversational pathways for you, and then that would be pretty next level.
Yeah.
I think that would be the most.
So what I built a Swarm one time. There's a demo on my YouTube where I analyze NVIDIA's 10K SEC filing. Right. It basically shows you like the amount of money they made, how much did they lose, and then like it would call you. So like it would call you with the results, and so it'd be like NVIDIA lost $5 billion this quarter. They gained like $20 billion.
Don't invest.
Yeah, I will let it grow. So yeah, so you would use this function if you had an API key. I already built a tool for this, and you also need the number. So this is my number, and then you essentially just like you essentially give it a system prompt as well.
Can we make it bigger?
Oh yeah.
Can you comment it in the Discord?
Yeah.
Because that's great.
But I think we'll take one last question. If you have any more questions, absolutely, go ahead. Or any other questions? One last question here.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in like text to action. Do you guys have like any like templates or libraries of like how you guys are like taking it to go do stuff, like maybe potentially like take over screens? Have you guys gotten into that, or how far out is Swarm from like text to action, and you guys like being able to go online and let's say go buy a domain name from GoDaddy, you know, and stuff like that?
So we have a partnership with Multion. Multion is an agent company that allows you to do that. Now, I wouldn't be able to, it only takes actions within the browser. So if you say, go send an email to Grant, it would actually go send an email, but it cannot take control of your computer. Now, there's two ways that you can mitigate this. If we wanted to do this at scale, one way we could do this is we could allow the agent, we give it a task, and then it will generate the code to do the task that you want to, like, take control of the screen, take control of the keyboard, do this on Google, and then it would take those actions on those platforms. Another way you can do it is you could have a hierarchical agent that creates a plan and then gives that plan to Multion.
And the Multion is what, like text to action partnership that you have going on, or like who's Multion? I mean, I never heard of them.
So Multion is basically like they're a Chrome extension that allow you to take actions within the browser. So you say, I want to send an email. I want to get DoorDash, and then it'll take that action. So yeah, like Multion to do that pretty well. Like full control of your computer is a little bit difficult because you would have to have very specific tools for very specific functions, like keyboard, browser, and ensure those tools work really well. And then you have to create a series of agents for different tasks within your computer.
That's what I was wondering, is like if you could start getting swarms to understand like all the action steps of going into like the main websites. Like for example, if I have a Shopify store and I want to put up a new product, or if I have my Amazon seller account, and we can start teaching a multitude of agents and then letting it go and do all the work. So I'm like, okay, I want to post this many campaigns on Facebook. Let's go ahead and take the action. So it's like, I would love to see like how we go down that route, because like that's like the next level for me, that I could just wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to spend $1,000 on Facebook. Let's run all these ads, and it knows it because there's so many agents that have already done it from other people that have done Facebook ads and Amazon ads or whatever that is. So I'm just wondering if that approach is even being thought of right now. I know, wasn't it the company Devin that they're doing, like they're taking over screens and stuff like that? They had insane raise amount and stuff like that. Those guys are working on that right now a little bit.
They do have they have a tool that lets them use the browser. Like we've been thinking about this a lot, and it's definitely possible now. Like companies like Multion are doing it now.
Because I would be interested, and we work with like a public company out of India, that we would be interested with Swarm, because I was creating something called Bubble GPT, which is going to be like an agent who's going to go talk to all the different agents, and then I saw Crew, then I saw you guys, and I'm like, oh man, you guys have already shortcutted this right now. So like, I'm super interested in that. So if there's a way that we could potentially do something with these guys out of India, like they're also like super smart, and I want to figure out how we can actually take these action steps with the different agents and such. That would be really cool.
Yeah, so the actions are getting much more reliable every day. But now, like the biggest problem is having tools that are up to date. Like I said, those APIs, each API is always constantly being updated, and you need to read documentation, make sure the tool is up to date, and things like that.
There's like updates almost sometimes daily or weekly and stuff, so it's like, how does it keep figuring out what the new ones are, right? That's probably the hardest.
Yeah, so that's a problem, and like it's kind of like a seasonal thing. You have to like every like couple of months or weeks, you have to basically build it from scratch. Maybe we could make it like much simpler to make in the coming couple of weeks, and just like generally make it very usable. But Multion is doing this pretty well. The thing is though, like it still doesn't take very long actions. Like it can't like send an email, check the bank, find expenses from the bank, tell you which these expenses are useless, then send an email to a customer, then check the CRM. Like it's like very specific, only 3 steps at a time.
And how do you like specify these steps? Do you like show him the best you are doing some usual stuff, or you just have predefined stuff?
Are you asking for the agents or multi? So you just give it a task. You say, I want you to send an email, and then it'll go in a loop forever until it finishes that task. So I says, I want to send an email. It'll check the web content. It'll check to see what page you're on. And then if it sends the email, if it says email sent, it'll stop the loop. It'll leave.
Actually, the one way to handle this, like seen before, is like browser-based automation. You will just specify the flow yourself, and then can do like really one-for-one, maybe these integrating steps to agents and stuff like that. So that's probably you can handle this. But still, you will have to update sometimes it, but probably it will be easier than like with API docs and you can do it yourself basically, because it's like pointing some items on the screen.
Yeah, you can leverage Selenium or Playwright somewhat.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, actually, that's also one. It will not scale pretty well, but for your own purposes, it probably will be a tool that will be useful for your agent and for your task. So.
And is Multion just taking screenshots and then like knowing where to put the cursor and stuff? That's basically all they're doing at the moment.
So they're manipulating the JavaScript behind the page. So they're not, they're basically like changing up. So if it sees a form, it looks at the JavaScript of the form and then it enters something in. So if you say email, and it types in your friend's email, you give it your email, say kai@swarms.world, it'll type that in, and then it'll leave the form and then press the button, all through JavaScript. So that's one way you can do that. Yeah, so people are doing this now. Nobody's really doing it at a scale that would be like automating like millions and millions and millions of tasks at once. Because for that, you need multiple agents.
That's why I'm saying that Swarm is perfect for this.
Multion is only one agent. It's not multiple agents. So we're actually working with them now to try and make it multiple agents. But creating a user interface for that is a little bit difficult.
Sure. Like, you know where their Multion is at?
They're in Palo Alto. Yeah. So that's fun. They're still like, again,
limiting like massive agent scale usage because people want to automatically post things to their social medias, but then you have to create the tools for those social medias, and
it's just kind of a mess now. And as every day goes on, we'll keep trying to fix that and make it easier to take actions on external platforms.
Amazing, everybody. I just want to say that was amazing.
I know we're out of time.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Curious
One
to
last
see
one.
where we can see multiple agents in action, like working together somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Are you having YouTube videos or anything like this? Maybe that would be shared in Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Like 100,000
Absolutely.
of the agents.
Millions and yes.
Yeah, 100,000 from one level.
So we'll go ahead and share that into the Discord channel. Go ahead and take a look. Everyone, just give a round of applause for
Thank you. That was our very first workshop collaboration, GPTuesdays and SWARMS. Very first workshop collaboration, and GPTuesdays' first workshop generally. So very, very exciting. I think this shows where we're moving next. I want to ask a question to the audience now that you've seen this workshop. What are some other workshops that you would like to see? What would you like to learn? Anyone in the audience, what would you like to learn next? Maybe prompt engineering generally, or go ahead.
AI with hardware, something.
AI with hardware? Okay, got it. Nice. We're going to talk to Ali Gonzalez for that. You know, they do Hack Night, as you know, and they might be good people to bring in for this.
Maybe like voice operated AI?
Voice operated AI? Okay, great. So things like, plan AI, things like that, you mean? So conversational AI?
Conversation,
Okay, over the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll look at VAPI and Bland AI. We'll give some demos, for example, and teach everyone how to build that themselves.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
How about that? Does that sound nice? Yeah. Cool. We'll also do, I think we would love to do some sort of prompt engineering one as well, just generally bring some of really great engineers that we have here to so that anyone can do it, because anyone can do prompts for example, with Claude or for ChatGPT. It's very, very valuable. So we're really excited. And also, with AI Salon, we're going to do some collaborative workshops coming up soon. So it's going to be very exciting. Go ahead.
I was just going to suggest the idea would be like AI and cloud integration with multiple GPUs and clusters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
That's actually, so the way you do that is, there's a good tool, SkyPilot, you should look at. SkyPilot is basically, you essentially say what GPUs and tasks you want to run, and it'll use multiple clouds to launch your script on those different clouds with any number of GPUs. And they have a pretty simple Python API. So if you wanted to give that to an agent, you would have an agent that would build the script of whatever you wanted, and then you would execute that script in the cloud with a SkyPilot agent that would then launch that script into the cloud.
Amazing.
We have done that in the past. It's kind of funny. We've essentially we've had an agent that generates code to train a model, and then we had a SkyPilot agent that would automatically launch that script into AWS to train the model without any human intervention. It's actually kind of fun. So yeah.
Something that we're going to be able to do in a future workshop. Absolutely. Anyone else?
I think one that would do well would be ML ops.
ML ops.
Yeah,
amazing.
Get somebody who's overseeing a big AI system and get their vantage point of where the
Right. Yeah, because once you learn the system, using it for SageMaker, for example, and the other ones, knowing the exact steps and all the pipelines would be very valuable, right? Training data, et cetera.
Do you mean like agent ops?
Oh,
like agent operations?
It's
Or
like ML. So
traditional.
What agent? I think that would be cool too.
Agent
ops would be cool too. Like how to monitor your agents very well. Like
Right.
1,000, like what's the best tool out there to monitor all of them well? How do you get feedback so you can see what's going on?
Oh, another one too, I think, just for my own enjoyment, is cybersecurity with prompting, right? With chat. For example, like there's systems or there's open source frameworks like Prompt Foo, right? Where you could essentially try to hack your chatbot, so to speak, or your agent, and see, if it fails any of the tests. And for example, is it giving the price? Is it giving like too low a price, et cetera, et cetera? Is it revealing that it's, any passwords or emails, things of that nature. So cybersecurity with AI agents.
I want to propose one.
Yeah.
No code, AI tools.
Amazing. I like that. That is amazing, yeah, because we can merge that with essentially the prompt engineering side, because prompt engineering, you can use that for anything. Like, you don't have to be a coder
So that is
to know
more
prompt
basic,
engineering.
like, okay, if someone wants to start,
Yeah.
where to start? Well, you start with the no-code tools.
Yes, that's a great one
No-code
because,
tools for AI.
yeah, that's beautiful because I think a lot of things are moving in that direction as well,
Yeah.
right? There are more and
With
more
the
tools.
code AI, has anyone used already the code AI?
I
Code AI, the one that, I mean, I saw it like 2 days ago. Code
Precursor?
AI. From China.
Maybe cursor? Maybe cursor.
No, no,
Cursor
Code
is
AI from
very
China, but
Yeah,
it's a tool that apparently is an AI
You write it
tool
down.
that codes on its own, so it's like an agent that is coding on its own. It was in the press 2.5 days ago.
No code, MLOps, orchestration
From China.
of agents, process.
No.
Okay, I'll ask you again.
No, but, I mean, there are
Cursor is a
more advanced.
MLOps.
fields
Agent ops.
of
Agent
AI,
ops.
so-
Who's it? Blend AI, MLOps. Prompt for
really
dummies.
low levels though.
Right. That one I think would be huge.
Prompting
Because,
for children.
right, prompting for children, prompting for dummies.
Swarm, she was also
Make Swarm so that you can
Right.
see how you can.
AI with like make.com. Yeah.
Because
And Zapier, yeah. Because you can do so much with it.
Zapier would be fire.
Right, that'd be fun. Right.
Make.com would be.
Make, yeah, like.
Especially now, right? Make it really great.
Yeah.
I have another one, I mean, I don't know if it's
Go ahead.
possible, but,
Oh, and
like,
hardware. Okay.
yeah, well, like, the future is cloud PCs,
Is what?
cloud PCs,
Oh, right.
right?
Yes.
So how are we gonna code in a cloud PC, how is it gonna be the future, like, you want to start, and you have a PC.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into that one as well. I think that was very cool. And I believe that you were also saying, right?
I was gonna say, I think really good entering with the lower level stuff is like a really full comprehension of API calls.
Right. Okay. Cool. So essentially, on the complement, on the basic prompt engineering side, that could be potentially, but yes. So essentially, like using API calls with the different models, Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, etc., to perform particular functions, and maybe even do some slightly more advanced things like, essentially based off of certain conditions or intents of the user, which I like to do a lot. Based on the intent of the flow, you can use activate different agents.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Because I think working with the no code tools, like I think that is not the name, it's not the API call. Right. You already at that level. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things. There's so many things that are in the pipeline. I believe this is gonna be great. So again, thank you all so much. I will have one last thing for the end of this is that I'm gonna put up a QR code for our Telegram group for everyone to join. We have a new Telegram group. We'd love for everyone to join so that we can continue learning together and growing together and sharing all of the resources that we have. And besides that, next week on Tuesday, we're going to be at Miami-Dade College. We're going to have Vlad Budachenko be speaking. He'll be talking about hyper-personalized outreach using multiple modals or multiple forms of outreach, such as voice calling, things like landing, etc., SMS, email, etc., using data to hyper-personalize all of that. So very useful for example events and everything that we might need. In addition, we're doing a special thing where we're merging our next week's presentation with Miami-Dade College to include one of their speakers, which is going to be from IBM. He's going to talk about, he's a DevSec ops engineer. And so we're going to have a great two-part series. It's going to start at 6, and the GPTuesdays section will start at 7:15 or so. So he'll be the IBM fellow. We'll be talking about his time as a call agent, and then moving on, then how he migrated into building agents and now super agents, etc. And then that'll flow nicely into personalized outreach. So I'm very excited, and I'll go ahead and pass on the QR code, and I guess that's it. Thank you all very much.
Picture.
Oh, picture, yeah, we gotta get a picture.
You're from Florida?
Picture.
Everyone come on in, picture time.
Lovely.
Juan.
Nonchalantly.
Marisa is never in the pictures because she always takes pictures.
No. I'm always in the pictures, don't worry.
Take something as well.
Okay.
Yes. We gotta get one of those tripods that work with Bluetooth to take pictures.
I mean, we could do a timer. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, no,
Professional. Born professional. Alright.
Should we do landscape? Is the tripod in the way?
Yeah, I'm gonna fix what I need. Okay, I'm gonna put a timer on so that I can be in it.
Yeah, get it.
10 seconds. Before those 10 seconds, let me just get. Can I stop streaming?